Around, seeing what's going on.
Hi there. We're here inside of the CBC in downtown Toronto at the annual general meeting of Emera Inc, which is a Halifax-based mega giant corporation with investments all over the world, especially in the Caribbean, and we want the investors here to know what is being withheld from them. The investors here have by and large shown us that they don't know that they are making money profiting from the poisoning with methylmercury, a deadly neurotoxin at Muskrat Falls of Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people living downstream. This is an act of cultural genocide, and we want the shareholders to know this information because it's not been shared with them. I've gone through the AGM annual report of Emera, and it's not being shared. So how is that being a responsible company? I looked up Emera, and as you can see, they pride themselves on health and wellness, building trust by finding common interest and acting with integrity, tenacious in our pursuit of creative solutions and safe and clean energy delivery. Well, the question for Emera today is, how is it clean and safe energy if you are poisoning the people who live downstream? If you saw today's front page newspaper, the Toronto Star, the lead story, 40 years of mercury poisoning of Indigenous people at Grassy Narrows in Northern Ontario. And a lot of people in Labrador are looking warily on that and saying, that's us, we're next. And so for all these shareholders, we want them to know that's what you're investing in. Pull your money out unless your company does the responsible thing. So feel free to keep filming there, Kevin, and we're just going to talk to you. Good, how are you doing?
Hang on, people here, we got this. I need a couple. I need.
We got a choir.
We've got a choir.
Okay, Tommy, you're going to be our choir director, eh? So the Muskrat Falls Solidarity Singers are here at the CBC. We are a cultural group, so hopefully the CBC will be covering us, but as usual, the CBC is not here. They're off covering royal weddings and other colonial adventures. But let's get that singing going. A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3.
Muskrat Falls, stop the dam, fish and seals, rivers, seas, fish and seals and rivers and seas. Stop the dam, Muskrat Falls, it will drown, all the winds in the stream, inside the white man's stream. Muskrat Falls, set them free, let the waters in their flow, they know where they used to go. Muskrat Falls, stop the trials, jailing elders is a crime, as it soars in mine. Muskrat Falls, speak up now, Inuit and Inuit, all of our solidarity. Muskrat Falls. Muskrat Falls, stop the dam, Stop the dam.
stop the trials, stop the trials. Shaving elders is a crime, is a silence yours and mine. Muskrat Falls, Muskrat Falls, Muskrat Falls, Muskrat Falls. Speak up now, Inuit and Inuit, all in solidarity. Muskrat Falls, Muskrat Falls. Muskrat will never end. $9 billion for the death that you'll send. Poisoning or drowning, it's not a fate. We must stop it now before it gets too late. Time to stop the dam before we're caught in a genocidal jam. Judo, are you full of bull?
Various shareholders at Emera Inc. And what's really interesting is how few people know about what's going on at Muskrat Falls. You ask them, have you heard of methylmercury? They've never heard the term. There are a couple of people who say, oh, this company has nothing to do with it, but Emera is going to be one of the biggest profiteers of Muskrat Falls. So hopefully our being here today is getting the word out as well. And we also have, as you can see, these pictures of individuals who are directly affected downstream from Muskrat Falls. And we're going to be handing out some of these pictures as well. So this is a picture of Jacinda Beals, who has been charged for simply standing up for the land at Muskrat Falls. And we want people to actually start looking. And in fact, we're going to ask these shareholders to see, are they willing to step over the pictures of these children? These are the people whose lives are at risk at Muskrat Falls. These are children, these are mothers, they are sisters, they are brothers, they are human beings. And so we're asking if the Emera shareholders are really willing to step into the lives. We're asking if people are willing to step into the lives of the people in Labrador, and that's a test, that's a moral test of integrity. Because, I'm sorry, well, people can walk around. We're not putting them right there, but we want people to, well, it's not a trick magic, really, it's just a piece of paper. But anyhow, these are the pictures of people whose lives are at risk. We're not being allowed in to see what's going on at the annual general meeting, but we thought we would share these pictures. These are the pictures of people downstream from Muskrat Falls. We don't want anyone to suffer. And I'm sure that once Muskrat Falls investors are aware of what Emera is withholding from them, they will stop their investment. Hi, can I give you this picture? These are the pictures that we tried to bring to Parliament a couple of weeks ago. And when we were in Parliament, they arrested Indigenous elders. They arrested and handcuffed violently Margaret Flowers, an Inuit woman from Happy Valley Goose Bay, simply for standing up for her right to be free of methylmercury poisoning, her right to be free of the threat of a catastrophic dam break. We want Emera to see these faces, to hear their voices. A lot of these people face jail time because they have shared their fears. There's something seriously wrong with that. So we're asking them not to step over. Can we help you? Okay. And as you can see from some of these pictures, people have tried. In this picture right here, it says, "Make Muskrat right." A couple of years ago, when there was an opportunity to actually, quote-unquote, make Muskrat right by clearance of the reservoir area, clearance of the brush and the trees and the topsoil that would have hopefully mitigated against the risk of methylmercury, The government of Newfoundland and Labrador and Nalcor and the federal government had a choice. They rejected that. Even though an independent expert advisory panel, which the federal government is a part of, has recommended clearance of that reservoir, they are still refusing to do that. So what is the message to the Indigenous and non-Indigenous people who live downstream? They're not willing to make Muskrat right. If they're not willing to make Muskrat right, then you have to shut Muskrat down. This is Beatrice Hunter. Beatrice Hunter is an Inuk grandmother who was jailed for 10 days in a maximum security penitentiary last year simply for being on her land, simply for standing up for her family. That is a crime that is taking place in the 21st century. That's a crime. And we're here to stop a crime. These are some of the children downstream of Muskrat Falls. And we want the investors of Emera to look at these. Hi, how are you? Welcome. One of these are the children who are affected by the Muskrat Falls Megadam downstream, and we want you to look into their. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Perfect. Labrador land protector. There you go. Well, we appreciate that, but you know, let's put it this way. If there were an emergency, I would be the first one to gather these up in the open. And that's why we're here. We're here to do Well, how about then the other alternative is that we put them on the table. We want people to see these things. So if you're okay to put them on the table, we'll take them off the floor. Well, the front of the table. Well, but you know what? I proposed a good compromise. We want people to see the faces. So see right there. All we're going to do is put them there. We'll take them off the floor and we'll put them. So just to be safe, we're just going to put pictures here. So you can see the pictures of children and mothers who are affected by whatever. Thanks, Lance.
Oh yeah, it's good, eh?
Liza, can I get you to get closer to Kevin there and read out these three statements?
Hi again. Hello.
Yes.
People, law-abiding citizens are being thrown in jail, incarcerated for no reason other than trying to protect our land and the peoples and the wildlife and fish of the land. This was the Elder Davis from his maximum security penitentiary cell in St. John's, Newfoundland, summer 2017.
Do you know Eldred, Liza?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, thank you for being here.
They are trying to make criminals out of the people who are trying to defend themselves from methylmercury poisoning of 1,000-year food supply that we always relied on at a time when the rest of Canada is looking for food security. This government has decided that we don't deserve that. Elder James Learning, 79, maximum security penitentiary cell. St. John's, Newfoundland, summer 2017. If one part of our culture is being threatened and our lives are being threatened, how does one back down from that? I don't know how we can. This fight has to stay ongoing.
Yes.
We have to have courage. And we have to encourage other land protectors now to step up to the plate, start their initial arrests, and just continue this process. Keep people moving through that court system. Keep the light on this issue. That's the only way we're going to do it. This was for land protector, Inuit land protector, Marjorie Flowers, maximum security prison cell.
Do you see, but like I say, we just want to make sure all the, we might wait another 10 minutes to make sure. But like I say, we're working with you to make sure that this is clear, and we'll move these over as well so that there's no trip hazard. I just want to let people know that I just talked to an Emera shareholder who said she absolutely supports the recommendations for clear cutting of the trees and the shrubbery and the green and the topsoil. She wants that cleared. She doesn't want her money profiting off of the poison of Indigenous people downstream from Muskrat Falls. So there's at least one voice of conscience going into that meeting, and it's great that we were here because she said, thank you for the reminder. I hadn't thought of the connection. So if you ever doubt the importance and the power of a witness like this, that's how powerful that is. And hopefully she will take that voice in. And she's also got about 10 of these pictures, 10 pictures of the faces of people from Muskrat Falls. So that's really important, and we want people, especially in Labrador, to know that we're here and we're going to be with you and continue to be with you. And of course, on Monday, we're going to be at the Minister of the Colonial Destruction of the Environment, Catherine McKenna, in Ottawa. And that gathering is at 3 p.m. And we're going to be asking her whether or not she's going to comply with the Minamata Convention on mercury poisoning. Because right now, she is not in compliance because of her support for the Muskrat Falls water megadam. Now, do we have any of the water from Angus? Oh, here we go. And yeah, I got one here. Yeah, we'll get a couple out. This is the Muskrat Falls water. Would you like some, sir? It's got methylmercury in it. Would you be comfortable drinking this? You're not comfortable drinking it. So the question is, why should we, as white, largely Canadians or colonial Canadians, actually ask the question, why are we forcing this on Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people downstream from Muskrat Falls? Some of you may have seen this just over here. They say, would you like to try any of the methylmercury water? You wouldn't want to drink that, would you? No, okay, we've got extras. And the thing is, you have a choice. You live in Toronto, or you're in Toronto right now. People downstream of Muskrat Falls do not have a choice about this. Harvard University says methylmercury will increase 1,500% in communities such as Rigolette, downstream from Muskrat Falls. I think we can cut it there. Thanks.
Kevin?